Hello everyone, welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at Charlie Thorne in The Lost City, chapter 26 and 27. So this chapter starts off with Charlie really explaining Darwin and his reason he didn't talk about his journey into the Amazon. And Charlie explains, like, look, when Darwin was talking about evolution, people thought he was crazy, and it was almost worthy to be killed for. Like many other people who had some really big scientific discovery that was against what the average person thought, that person sometimes got killed or thought were crazy. People thought they were crazy. And so Darwin, Charlie's guessing, didn't want this. So that's why he kind of kept quiet. And we learned later on that even when he came back from the Galapagos Islands, he didn't write his paper about evolution for 20 years, just because he was so afraid. But they think that, or Charlie does, that Darwin was actually hoping to be a geologist. He wanted to study the earth sciences because they were just starting to really be able to dig down into the ground and see different things and find dinosaur fossils. And people were thinking, oh my goodness, maybe the earth is much older than we thought. And he started to maybe get this idea of evolution, of like something was happening with the biology that was changing over time. But of course, when he brought these fossils back, showing evidence of this, the people on the boat, the Beagle, they got scared of it and they threw it overboard. They destroyed all the stuff. They didn't talk about it, and they covered it up to make it look like nothing was there. And then we hear about this guy, Alfred Russel Wallace, who was going to submit this paper on evolution. He sent it to Darwin. Darwin read it. Oh, this is my paper. This is what I thought I wanted to write. And they end up sharing it together about evolution, so they can both get credit. But of course, we don't really remember Alfred Russel Wallace that much. And finally, Dante kind of asked Charlie, so, okay, you've been thinking about this a lot. When did this first start? These guesses or these theories in your mind? It's like, well, when I first learned that Darwin had some secret discovery. And then Charlie asked, well, what are you guys going to do once you find it? Because I don't trust the CIA. And then Dante and Milana really talk about, like, hey, look, the American government, they really support sciences in these different areas. If we find something really big out here, the CIA and the American government, they're going to want to protect it. Charlie couldn't really argue against that, so she's like, well, yeah, I guess you're right. That leaves us to chapter 27, where Oz and his followers see a campfire in the distance. Who is it? It's Esmeralda, her brothers, and Ivan, all talking together about treasure. And Oz and his crew kind of stop in, and they're looking out on the fire, and they're listening, and they destroy their boats, Ivan and Esmeralda's boats. So they just have their own boats. And we kind of learned that all of the people, except for Oz, are kind of natives to this area. So they've been eating termites, which are little bugs. They're like little ants that eat wood, fish and fruit in the area. And they didn't bring any supplies. They just been eating that and just been going as fast as they could. And they didn't bring any tents or sleeping bags, except Oz did. But they just been sleeping in the wild. They didn't need blankets and extra things. They just felt comfortable out here. One of his crew that were with him was like, wow, this is like a vacation. That's pretty amazing. Dante and Charlie and Milana and probably Esmeralda, her brothers, and Ivan are like, this is the worst thing in the world. But then Oz's guys are like, oh, this is like a vacation. This is so great. Because all they just did is work in the refinery day after day after day. Oz did bring a few comforts like a sleeping bag, some bug spray, and a little stove or something. But for the most part, they didn't carry anything. So they're going light and fast. And they're listening in to Ivan and Esmeralda, and Jose's like, hey, should we capture them? I don't know. Oz says, he's like, let's just listen. And then Jose is like, wait, what are we going to do with these people? Are we going to kill them? And Oz says, no, we don't have to kill them. We just have to take their stuff and leave them. And then, of course, the rainforest will kill them. And Jose, yeah, he likes that idea much better. And certainly the crew does too. It's important to note that these guys don't speak English, so they don't know what Ivan and Esmeralda are talking about. Only Oz knows. And Oz is like, oh, they're just complaining about mosquitoes. So Oz is learning about the treasure and the gold. But he's not telling his members because he thinks that they'll probably kill him too. That leaves us with some vocabulary. First one is lunatic. That's a crazy person. Blasphemous means it's something against God or religion. Sacrilegious means against religion, something going against religious beliefs. So blasphemous and sacrilegious, really bad things for Hindus or Christians or Muslims or maybe even Buddhists too, something like that. But something that's saying against their religion. Slogging is like working really hard, and I imagine a movement, right? Slogging, trying to get through something that's really thick and hard to get through, but also working day and night is slogging too. Preeminent, the number one, the first, the best. And America has NASA, which is the best and the number one space exploration kind of government organization in the world. So we kind of talk about how good American science is. And chapter 27, lean-to, that's where you have like a stick and then another stick holding that up, and then you put grass or leaves or paper on something to create like a little shelter. And so there's just like a pole, and then you're sleeping underneath. We call that a lean-to, something you just make very quickly in the forest. And that leaves us with our discussion question. Okay, and that discussion question is, could you share or tell or teach about evolution if you were in Darwin's shoes or in Darwin's place? Okay, imagine, right? Man, I don't even know how long ago this was. 200 years ago? 300 years ago? The people's mindset back then, and Darwin having this really crazy idea about evolution. No one really thought about this before. Would you have the courage to share, or would you wait 20 years like Darwin did, or never share it, or share it immediately when you got off the boat? What would you do? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.